I would say from perspective of with Hackett having dealt with thousands of companies, that you hear the same types of resistance to change again and again. And I think it's very easy from someone who works in a professional services firm to come in and maybe you've seen it 10 different times. You've seen this same issue. You've seen it, the same kind of resistance. And you know by the data that Hackett provides, which you all saw on the first day of the session, by the practices that, again, they're employing versus what you've seen other companies do, that you know the right angle. But I think that the change management side is too often overlooked in terms of taking a step back from that and saying, this may be the perfect way of doing things, but have we really considered where is the company? What's the culture of the company? Again, what Peter was describing at HP is a fantastic example of a changing culture between the old CEO and when Mark Hurd came in. Very different in terms of how that culture operated, Mark's expectations, and being very clear about who's driving the train and we're going to get there, versus HP historically, again, been written up as more of a siloed company, as each of the individual business units, really the way they produce value is by their individuality and doing their own thing. So very different strategies. And the change management, I think, too many times we say it's one, if we just communicate, if we just set up the right, put the right people in the right roles, if we have clear financial targets set out, we will get there. And I think it's much more complicated than that in terms of really looking at the environment that you're operating in, the types of people that you have available, how much change they can actually absorb, depending on the type of organization that you're in. For example, when I go out and meet with Northern California Silicon Valley clients, that pace of change is completely different in terms of what they're willing to do and what risks they're willing to take on than someone who's maybe in the Midwest who hasn't had any changes in their organization, structure, systems, and so forth over the last 10 years. And maybe this is the first time because of the changes in the economy. So very different approaches need to be taken, I think, as all of you working in your organizations thinking about, as I mentioned, how can you get involved in change initiatives, really need to think through how do you correctly position that given kind of the culture that you're operating in.